Good morning. It's July 11th. I am at the university, just where I'm starting from. I'm going to walk back from here to home. So there's a reason. I had to drop the car off here for my daughter who's coming back in from Cypress Hills tonight, where she was on a work-related trip. She works at ICE camp here at the university, educating youth in engineering and science. This, by the way, is the kinesiology building, gym, etc. So she's coming back in. Didn't want to leave the car here while she was gone, so I picked it up, and now I've dropped it off, so it will be here when she gets back. So this will be an interesting walk. Starting at the university, but I'm not going to walk around the university much. Just starting here, the education building. Now, can I get through up here? I hope I can. I'm just going to kind of zigzag my way through some terrain I don't normally walk along, some neighborhoods that I haven't been in very often.
She's not like that, right?
Still, this end has been blocked off for a while as I do something. I'm not sure why. Anyway, this is part of the University of Regina. That's Innovation Place over there, kind of a research-focused area. And we'll be coming up here by the Riddell Center in a moment, which is the building I'm very familiar with because that's where the University Theater is. So I've performed there a few times. I have walked around the university and will do so again. Oh, by the way, I'm using my wireless mic today, so I hope it's working. I can see already that my mic is kind of flopped over to one side in a way I would prefer it didn't. Let's see if I can do something about that without dropping it on the ground. I think I just need to do another button here on my shirt. Oop, now it's going to fall off for sure. Hold on, I'll get it fixed. I thought I had it all set up nice and now I've lost my fur ball off the end. Well, it's not very windy. I'll just take that off today. Okay, hold on. I'll get this figured out yet. Okay, maybe that's not too bad. I have no idea what I just recorded there video-wise, but anyway, maybe a bit more wind noise because I did have the little fuzzball on it, but it came off while I was doing that, and it's impossible to do that with one hand, put it back on, so we'll just let it go. Anyway, this is the Riddell Center over here. It's where the student center is, and the food court and all that kind of stuff, various things. There. What I'm going to do is walk straight down here and cross the street and then go into the residential neighborhood on the other side as I start to wend my way back home. It's all much greener than the last time I was here. It's been a while actually since I've been on the university campus. I probably should take a walk around here one of these days soon during the summer. Enjoy the flowers, like that lovely bush there. Publishing-wise, writing-wise, my picture book, not my picture book, the one I'm publishing, What If You Could by Lynn Harley, is basically ready to go. I'm just trying to get it uploaded to Amazon again. So the print can go on. The ebook is ready to pre-order, but the print is still to come. Finalized. I spotted a couple of things that need fixing, but as soon as it's ready, it'll go on sale. It's already gone on pre-sale on my website and shadowpawpress.com. There's been a few pre-sales, so that's nice. Which reminds me, one of the things I have to do today is mail some books. I still need to mail a bunch of Kickstarter books. I don't think I'll do that today, but I have an order from a library in Morange for several Shadowpaw Press books. I'd like to get those out maybe today. Should have done that when I had a car. But I should have a car tomorrow, so maybe I'll do all that tomorrow when I have a car. Because Alice will be off work, which means the car will still be around. And she's been working this weekend. She gets tomorrow off. And I'll have access to the car, which will be nice. For doing those errands, so tomorrow would be the day to do those, for sure. Glad I thought of that. I've started editing the stories for the Kickstarter, and that's the Kickstarter anthology. That's the anthology that features authors who are guests on my podcast, The World Shapers, which, by the way, has a new episode out as of yesterday, featuring New York Times bestselling author Holly Black. You can find it at theworldshapers.com. So 3 years now in a row, I've kickstarted an anthology that features authors who are guests on the podcast, and the third one will be out this fall. And I have all the stories except mine. I have to write mine at some point, and I'm editing them now. Well, not now. Right now I'm walking, but you know what I mean. Just go over there. There's a strip mall over there, very popular with students, and has a coffee shop and that sort of thing in it. Ooh, that's a loud one of those. So we're crossing Wascana Parkway. Seeing posters there for Cirque du Soleil. We've got tickets to that. We've seen them several times here, but the best time was actually seeing them in a tent in Quebec City, sort of home stomping ground, so that was cool. And of course they're in Montreal all the time, but we didn't go while we were there. This is the strip mall I was talking about over here. McDonald's over there too. Everything you need. Convenience store. There used to be a print store that I did stuff in. Print shop. I don't think that's there anymore. A lot of those kind of went away because technology advanced and a lot of people just print their stuff themselves. Although if you need a big run, you still need to have somebody that can do it. I don't think it's still there. No, where it was has something else there now. Oh, no, wait a minute. Maybe it does still say printing over there. I haven't been in there in years. Oh, it does still have a printing place over there. Oh, right over there with the blue sign. I used to go in there all the time with, that must have been Science Center stuff, or maybe it was lyric stuff. I don't remember. I know I was in there all the time with stuff. Okay, we're just going to zigzag now. Sort of a random walk, but always trending back in the direction of the Crescents. We'll get off these busier streets, go into some nice, quiet residential ones. Here's another one of those that only has a sidewalk on one side. Oh, let's go through that park. I know I've walked through it before, but not recently. Go walk through the park. This is a crescent anyway, dark crescent. The only problem with this neighborhood is finding a street that doesn't curve back on itself. There's a sign naming this park at the other end, not at this end. I'm just going to make sure I'm focused in the distance here. Yesterday, I think it started a little out of focus because I wasn't careful about that. So it's not much of a park. I mean, it's just a nice little green space. It doesn't have a playground or anything like that. A lot of benches. It's just a little green space. And it's called Dark Park, which makes sense. I guess everything else around here is named Dark. Morning.
Is that Ed Willett filming the neighborhood?
It is.
Brian Smith here.
Hi, good to see you too. See, everywhere you go, you run into people who know you. I believe he played football with my brother in college. And I've talked to him for other reasons over the years. Well, never talked to him because he played football with my brother. I talked to him for other reasons to begin with. But anyway, Dark Park. Presumably the same dark that gives us Dark Hall, which you maybe call the, oh, I know where we are. And the seniors housing there. We'll go this way. Presumably the same dark that gives, Dark Hall, he was a butcher, I believe, is how he made his money. And Dark Hall is kind of his legacy. And of course I was there did a quick tour through it. I said I'm going to zigzag, so that means I go this way. Did a quick tour through it after the refurbishment. It's quite a pleasant temperature this morning. Probably 8:20, 19, 18. The breeze feels cool. The sun feels warm. Now, if I zig this way, do I go anywhere or do I get trapped? It appears to curve the way I want to go, so although it doesn't have a sidewalk, I'll go this way. I hope I don't get trapped. This one has no sidewalks at all on either side of the street. I don't think anybody's watching me live. It's usually somebody discovers it somewhere along here. I hope I'm still connected. If not, then I am just recording this for posterity. But if you're there, say hi. Oh, I misjudged that. It doesn't curve the way I want to go at all. It's a dead end. Okay, well, this is just a little tour of the cul-de-sac then. I thought the street went that way, but there's no street there, and there's no alley or anything to get through. Sometimes there is. A way between the houses to the next one over, but I don't see it here anywhere. It's about a little tour of the cul-de-sac. There's a new house here at the end. Yeah, no way through any of these. Okay, well, an unnecessary divertissement. Diversion, anyway. We have a little patch of green here in the middle. Hope you enjoyed that excursion. Just added 5 minutes to my walk without any real advancement made, but anyway. Must be garbage day here. All the garbage bins are out on the street. Well, it's Monday. It's garbage at home too, right? I knew that. I took the garbage out yesterday for that very reason. Same here as there. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed that detour. It's the trouble with this neighborhood, and I knew it was a risk when I came this way instead of sticking to the main streets, but it's more adventurous not knowing where you're going precisely. We'll go back over to the sidewalk side. This neighborhood, but it's hard to remember exactly how the streets go, except for the one or two that I've had other reason to come down over the years. It's a nice, mature neighborhood, tree-wise, big trees, lots of shade, greenery. I'm guessing 60s originally for these houses. For the neighborhood, Dunning Crescent. Okay, don't go down the Crescent. It won't take you anywhere. Except around the Crescent. Which probably would just bring me out again up here somewhere. It's very quiet because there's it's hard to get anywhere down here, so you don't get extraneous traffic, just people who are coming to the neighborhood, basically. You only come down here if you have to come down here. For some reason, there's a porta potty sitting out at the end of the street. I don't know what that's all about. Oh, we have a tree like that that splits halfway up, has two crowns. Damage at some point makes it to start a second crown. We have another tree whose crown came right off and landed in our neighbor's yard while we were away. The holy, it's not a triumvirate, duology, Canada and the Saskatchewan Roughriders. Nice little corner garden here. Very pretty. I think that'll just take me around a loop, so let's not do that. Stay over here. So now, see, it's turned me around and is sending me not in the direction I actually want to go until I get up to this corner up here. So that's another little green island. God didn't make little green islands. These yellow flowers on it, though. FedEx people managed to find somebody down here. They did get lost. I'm not lost. I just am not taking a very direct route. Okay, we'll turn north again here. This intersection. Which is Jubilee. We're on Martin. I'm going to turn and go down Jubilee, or up Jubilee. When you're walking north, you usually say up. It's because of the way maps are in the Northern Hemisphere. Jubilee, I think, will take us out sort of where I'm expecting to come out on Broad. If it's still called Broad there, actually it's not. It's not Broad. It's Broad disappears further north. Hillsdale, I guess? Hillsdale Avenue? No, it has to be a street. No, Hillsdale is... What is the name of that street? Well, if I ever get there, I'll find out. This is about to curve me around again. But you can't really get lost. There's a tall building, Roberts Plaza, sticking up through the trees, so that's a landmark. Home is that away, I know that. I'll stay on this side because there's some sort of work going over there. On the other side of the street. Oh, maybe on this side too. Little pink houses for you and me. Oh, I see there are people on YouTube. That's good. Must be working then. So, yes, Roberts Plaza over there. Yeah, Jubilee takes me right up to whatever that street's called. Hillview? Hill something? I should know. Oh, that's where all the work's happening. Down there. It's construction season, and the weather is decent, and that's when you got to get work done before the snow flies again. Which it will. What is this? Is July? We could have the snow within a couple of months. It sometimes snows in September. Certainly can frost in September. Almost certainly will frost in September. So we're about 2 months away before it starts getting colder, significantly. And the nights will cool off before that, as the days get shorter, which they are now. But we do have some nice warm weather in the forecast. Around 30 degrees now for the next couple of weeks, it looks like. High 20s, low around 30, maybe a little over 30. Not too hot. But warm. Okay. Why can't I remember the name of this major street that I've driven along multiple times? It's called Hillsdale. Okay, I was right the first time. Huh. Duh. Right, well, there's a pedestrian crossing here, so this seems like a good place to cross. Why would I cross the road? Well, I need to get to the other side. That's why. Which we will do. Nobody's coming anyway. Kind of unusual. It's quite deserted. There's some coming down there. It's kind of states. I know I don't want to go that way because it'll curve me back the wrong direction again. So this way we go. Which will take us right by Roberts Plaza. It's an Alliance Church over there. Heritage Alliance Church. Some apartment buildings and condos right over there. My dentist, where I go for my dentist appointments, is in a little strip mall in this parking lot up here. Just past the intersection. Can't see it yet. And I have occasionally started there on my walks after a dentist appointment. Or walked to the dentist appointment and then walked home again. Because from here, I will cross and go into the north part, or the south part of Wascana Center, I think. Walk through there, down by the McKinsey, and then down along Albert, I think, so. No more wandering around unfamiliar neighborhoods. I know where I am now. It's in front of Roberts Plaza. Somebody said something. What did you say? Hello? Hey, hey, hey back. I have to lift my sunglasses to see, and it's too bright to read clearly, but somebody said hey. Over there is where my dentist is. I'm sure you want to know that. I'm planning to build something on that corner. I've often wondered why it's been, well, there was a gas station there, so the fact there used to be a fuel tank there may have something to do with why it hasn't. Might have been cleanup to consider, but it looks like something's being planned over there. Okay. The tree farm is right over there. I don't think there's a sidewalk on this side, on that side. But I've never walked down that bit of path that's right in front of me, so I will take that. Figure it out from there. Oh, there is a path that goes to the left. Okay, that's the way I want to go then. It's not a paved path, but it's definitely a path. I think it's a, we're going to walk this way even though you didn't give us a path. No, they'll just take us into a fence. Nope. We'll stick to the paved path. So that's the city's tree farm on the other side of that fence. And actually on this side too, it looks like, because there's definitely some trees growing in rows here. Oh, hello, Roger. Sound should be pretty good. I'm using my wireless mic, but I had to take a little fuzzball off of it that cuts the wind, so I apologize for that noise. It was falling off, and in the process of making sure it didn't fall off, the fuzzball fell off. I mean, the microphone fell off, and the fuzzball was falling off. I couldn't put the fuzzball back on because I couldn't do it one-handed, and that was all I had available. Nice condos there. I think the archives is still in that building, Saskatchewan Archives. It may have moved. I used to go in there to do research in the archives, but I have this nagging suspicion it may have moved. Like I said, I have never walked along this path, so I can't even sing "I have often walked down this street before." Because I haven't. I've walked on that side of it. I haven't walked on this side. Trees growing in rows. A rose by any other name would smell as sweet. And speaking of smelling sweet, there's that prairie smell of whatever that plant is that makes that smell. I don't actually know where it comes from, but I recognize the smell. Makes me think of endless summers of the past, especially as a kid. I actually lived out on the prairie more in North Weyburn, which is the former Commonwealth Air Training Command base where Western Christian College was located. All the years I went to it and where I grew up and went to high school. My parents lived there until the school moved to Dauphin, Manitoba, and then my dad retired and they stayed in Weyburn, but at that point they moved into town. I hardly recognize the North Weyburn now. It's got a lot more houses, and the buildings I knew are mostly torn down. There's only one or two of them still left. There's a concrete wall that dates back to, I think, rifle practice when it was an Air Force base. I'm not sure. And That's where we always painted our year of our graduating class, and those are still there. Last time I was there, 1976 is still there, in bicentennial colors, of course, since we had several Americans in the group. I don't know if there'd be any audio dead spots. I haven't used the wireless mic for a while, so this is a bit of an experiment, so I apologize if the sound has problems. It used to cut out in the cold, but so did the other mic. And I think my only possible explanation for that, why the external mic doesn't work in cold weather, is that the plug contracts, whereas the plug receptacle does not, and as a result you lose connection. That's my best guess. But, you know, iPhones, Apple probably never tested its phones stuck on a stick exposed to minus 45 weather, wind chill. Although it doesn't have to get that cold before my external mic quit working. It's odd that it would cut out and come back in. It's never done that before. It would just quit. So, I can't explain that. I'll have to listen to it, see if I can hear what's going on once I get it back again. Back home again on Angus Crescent. I'd actually like to get over to there, but my walk has taken me right down to the lake. That's redundant. I walk by the lake all the time, so although there is not a path, I think I will walk along the grass over here. So I don't think there's a path or a sidewalk on this side, is there? No, there isn't. So I'll just take to the grass. Because I walk over there all the time. Every Friday I walk around the lake, so that's boring. I don't walk over here as nearly as often, and I never walk along this grassy patch where there's no sidewalk, so I think this is a first. Can I wander further among the trees before I run into a fence? Let's find out. Oop, there goes a hare. Or possibly a rabbit. Yes, I can go this way, but I probably shouldn't have. There he goes again. There's the fence. Oh, we can get through here. Well, he thinks I'm chasing him, but I'm not. He just happens to be running this. Oh, there's two of them. They look pretty little, those. Three. It's a whole family. There's a bit of a path over here, so maybe I can follow it out of the wilderness here. There's the tree farm again in Roberts Plaza. This is sort of a maintenance building here. If there's any point going left, I'll just end up in a parking lot, I think. Yes. Nope, can't go that way. But if we stay out here, we should be fine. Path up here I can rejoin, which will kind of take me the wrong direction, but that's okay. is and isn't going in the right direction. That's the direction I want to go. Of course, it's curving me back to the south, which is not the direction I want to go. But it's scenic. Look, it goes deep into the woods up here. Ooh, very scenic. Very private, secret. So secret it ends in a fence. No, I can get through. It does end in a fence, but it's not closed. Oof. Let's judge that curb. It's a path that goes nowhere. I think is this where the Diefenbaker homestead used to be? Oh, this is the Francescois flag. Highlights the significant contributions of the Francescois community to Saskatchewan social, cultural, and economic development. Francescois is French-speaking Saskatchewanians. There's the lake over there. But again, I walk that way all the time, so I'll stay over here. So I continue to wend my way toward Albert Street. There's a path I can join. That's the Wascana Rehab Center over there in the distance. Do I have sound? Of course, if I don't have sound, you can't tell me. I could switch in the other mic if I'm really having problems. If it's silent, maybe I'll just put music over it. No, then I'd get a copyright violation. Can't do that. Unless it was music I had written, since I don't write music to speak of. That won't work. If you're there and you can hear me, just let me know. Roger has worried me that it might have cut out entirely. Doesn't affect the video, of course. There is sound. Thank you. John, thank you. Okay, well, I'll leave it. Check later to see if what these dropouts are all about. I'm actually going to go this way. Oh, wait a minute. Is this the one that dead ends? Oh, it is. I don't want to go that way. I think the last time I was here was maybe in the spring when it was just beginning to thaw. Last time I was in this part of the park. Wascana Center, I should say. It's a park on that side. This isn't really a park, but it's part of Wascana Center. I guess it's park, but it has buildings and hospitals and things, art galleries, office buildings, and all that stuff in it. That was was the other one. Oh well, we'll go this way. Back into the deep dark woods. I don't think that's a playground. I think that is intended for outdoor. I'm sure it's not a playground. It's an outdoor gym for rehabilitation purposes because this is West Canada Rehab over here. So I'm sure that's what that is. I don't remember being there before, so maybe pretty new. Looks like anybody could use it. Perhaps they can. They come here and work out. Scenic parking lot. So coming in to side over there is the T.C. Douglas building, which has government offices, and then the McKinsey Art Gallery's in there too. I don't think I'll go that far out of my way. I'm going to go across the grass here. Head toward the Lloyd building, which is the one through the trees directly ahead. The offices I was in that one, which were the environment department, looked out this direction. There's a good view of the T.C. Douglas building. Very nicely blends with the prairie landscape. Sometimes see people out here playing football and stuff, and there have been concerts held in this green here. Just a big patch of grass, grass. Clicking, that's from the microphone receiver. I've always had that problem too and never quite figured out how to stop it from doing that. It'll probably come back, but for the moment that should stop it. That's the Lloyd building over there, named after another former premier. And here's the path I will connect with, if I choose to. I could stay in the grass, but you never know when you'll run into a wall of trees that it's hard to get through. I think there might be one in that direction, so I will join the path. Ta-da! So yeah, I think the environment offices I was in, the environment office I was in, I think was on the third floor, right on this corner. I was editing a bunch of papers about, what was it about? Something to do with the boreal forest, and I don't know if I remember doing it. We were getting paid for it. I don't remember the details. Anyway, it was right up there. Did it end up online? It might have. Been a few odd things like that. I did a bunch of stuff for the Federal Environment Department at one point about potato farming at PEI. I was, hoping that would lead to more work, but it's the only time ever. I don't think they were dissatisfied with it. It's just they didn't need me again. But I did it. Through the grass again. I just came up this way to avoid getting trapped in the parking lot there a bit. And we'll go this way, back on more familiar territory. I walk this way a little more often than where I was earlier. This is the first time I've walked all the way from the university home. He was going to run that stop sign. Maybe he thought I had some sort of traffic control. He barely stopped, but he did, but it seemed to come late. I don't even know if he was on camera or not, but okay. Now we're off a familiar path now. So I can vary it a bit too. I leave this side of the street whenever it's convenient, and then walk down Albert or Angus on the other side. This is the Walter Scott building, named after the first Premier of Saskatchewan. As I mentioned before, I even portrayed him, a very, not intended to be a real portrayal, for the Hill Companies when they did their 100th anniversary celebrations. I was Walter Scott and talked about, I had come forward in time talked about how the province had changed since 1905 when it became a province. That was probably in 2005. That's when most of these centennials happened, including the provinces. And they must have liked what I did because they flew me to Calgary to do it again. And there I got to make an Alberta joke with Ralph Klein, the Premier, in the audience. So that was fun. I think I did it again. I think I did it for SUMA. I did. I was in Saskatoon for the Saskatchewan Urban Municipalities Association. Had me do that too. It's like 3 times I portrayed Walter Scott, who was actually a little guy and Scottish. Didn't look a thing like me. But that's why they call it acting, my dear boy. Albert Street. Good morning, Charles, in Alabama, as I recall. It's a very pretty day here this morning. Not much wind, comfortable temperature, bright sunshine. This is a pedestrian crossing, but it doesn't have a light, so one wants to be careful if you use this one. But it worked. Just to get off Albert, I think I'll walk down Angus, the next one over. A lot of nice older houses here along Albert Street. But I want to get away from the traffic noise. I have sometimes walked down the alley. Oof! Startled me. I probably startled him too. I think I'll stick to the street today. Nice brightly colored door. Well, the house has an empty look. This is Angus. Peak shadiness with the old elm trees here. They keep fighting Dutch elm, and it's rare that it shows up in the city, but we do tend to lose a tree every now and then. They've always kept it from being widespread and taking out the elms, for which those of us who live in these neighborhoods are thankful. These are all probably towards the end of their natural life anyway, so they do occasionally lose one. They seem mostly intact on this street though. They're all at the same distance apart, so when one is missing, like there was probably one. It's now not there. You can usually tell. Nice and shady on these streets because of the elms. I remember a play I read in university, Desire Under the Elms. I can't remember the name of it. Very famous, but who is the author? That escapes me at the moment. As soon as somebody tells me, I'll go, well, yeah, of course that was the author. What am I thinking? Oof. This is McCallum Avenue. And of course that old house over there, which is actually multiple units now, and has been for a long time. Used to be a kind of a halfway house or that sort of thing. There's always joggers and dogs. Sometimes they're the same jogger with a dog. I should mow the grass today. I don't want to though, but I should. I probably will. We have people coming over tonight, so. Normally I do it on the weekend, but I really didn't want to do it yesterday. I had to get that podcast out featuring Holly Black on theworldshapers.com. Go check it out if you're a Holly Black fan. She is a New York Times best-selling author of fantasy, and she has a new adult novel out called Book of Night, which I haven't finished, but I have enjoyed what I've read of it. So I'm currently focused on finishing at least the current trilogy from S.M. Sterling's Emberverse series. There's 15 books, and I'm approaching the end of book 6. And I'll probably carry on because I am enjoying it, but I might take a break and read something else in between, like Book of Night, or one of the numerous other books I have that I should be reading. I read so little for pleasure. I read so much for everything else. Always reading something, but not as much fiction as I did as a kid, that's for sure, and I kind of regret that. And of course, it's easy to fix. I just start doing it again and quit. Unfollow everybody I follow on Twitter. I sometimes think that would be the single greatest thing I could do. Just don't read any of that crap. I'd keep my account, post stuff. It would make the slightest difference to people reading mine, and it's not like, I have 15 or 1600 followers, but I'm lucky if a tweet gets a couple of hundred notices. So from a marketing point of view, is it really doing a thing? Hard to say. Probably not. As I learned in my journalism course, 90% of public relations is wasted, but nobody knows which 90% it is. So you're always doing stuff that is probably a complete waste of time. And it's very difficult to know. And yeah, paid advertising can work, but it's a huge gamble. In order to get a significant return, you have to put a significant amount of money into it. And if you don't get that significant return because you misjudged or did something wrong, you lose that significant amount of money you put into it. Well, I don't have significant amounts of money on my writing career side. And so it's a conundrum. I don't have a huge pile of capital lying around to be squandered on futile attempts to market stuff. But I keep trying things, and every now and then something works pretty well. So again, 90% of it is wasted, but I don't know which 90% it is. I guess we'll go to the corner because there's cars coming. Oh, I can cross now. Go across the bridge this time, so we can take a look at the creek. Normally I walk along the creek on Monday, so this will be my nod to the creek as we cross the bridge up here. Maybe I'll do my creek walk tomorrow, although probably I'll do something else. I don't know. Tuesdays I often walk downtown, and I kind of like that too, so it's not like anybody cares what I do. Nobody's going to say, oh, you didn't walk along the creek on Monday, that's it, I'm out of here. How long have I walked? 57 minutes. Oh, so this will be over an hour. Might not have been if I'd taken the most direct route, but there was a lot of wandering that lengthened it out by a few minutes. Otherwise it would have been, if you were just walking with the goal of getting here as quickly as possible, probably an hour walk to the university from my house, and vice versa. Possibly a bit less if I'd really been focused on taking the most direct route. Probably would have been a bit less. Crossing the Albert Street Bridge, they still have the Saskatchewan flags up from Canada Day. We watched the fireworks over there on Willow Island, reflecting on the water from right up here. They blocked this all off for the Canada Day fireworks. Put big pieces of equipment at both ends of the bridge so nobody can drive onto the bridge while people are on it, which is a good thing. Yeah, somewhere right over there is where we watched it from. Okay, well, here's the creek. There's no pelican. They're often on those rocks over there. Not today. Alright, so I did walk along the creek, because here I am, along the creek. There's a duck down there. This is the spillway for the which is over there, of course. Nice bridge with this terracotta wheat sheaves for the balustrade. That's the provincial crest, coat of arms, I should say. And then because Regina was known as Pile of Bones, because that's how it started during the buffalo years, there are bison on each of the other uprights, I guess you call them, bison medallions. As I often say, this whole neighborhood over here is called Lakeview, but there's only about 2 houses here that actually have a lake view, maybe 3 or 4. That one probably has the best because it's the tallest and has the deck up there. One of these had a fire. It might have been that one. So just a couple of familiar blocks to go here. Harrington Mews, where Wally Knight lives in my Shards of Excalibur series. I mention that all the time. This house that I like because it has the lions on the steps, like the New York Public Library, only slightly smaller. Also, these are Oriental lions, Chinese lions. Wally Knight lives right down there in Shards of Excalibur. That's a dead end, or I would go that way, but I'd get trapped. Pretty much peak greenery now. Height of summer. By the time you get to the end of July, into August, things start to look a little tired. And in August, the first yellow leaves start to show up on the trees. And then in September, they go yellow and fall. And by the end of September, there's a good chance of frost killing your flowers. And by October, everything turns brown again. And you start to get probably the first snows, which usually don't stick that early, but they come. And then it's November, and winter arrives in earnest. Right around Remembrance Day is usually when the snow comes to stay, sometimes later, sometimes earlier, you can't tell. Or it may come for a little while and melt and then come to stay. I'm depressing myself. This one's for sale if you're looking for a house in my neighborhood. Hello from Toronto. Oddly enough, I was in Toronto not that long ago. My wife grew up in Toronto. That's not why we were there, but it's just an interesting fact. It's about, I guess it was a month ago now, I was there. Because in between we've been to Mont Tremblant and Montreal and Ottawa for the same reasons, because my wife is on the Qualifications Board of Engineers Canada. She's chair of it. And so there were various Engineers Canada events that we attended. She had to go to meetings. I didn't. So I like these kinds of trips. If you go back, you can see my walk in Mont Tremblant, although I didn't do any walking in Toronto or Montreal or Ottawa, only in Mont Tremblant. Or rather, I did quite a bit of walking in the other places, I just didn't live stream. Davin School, directly ahead, where my daughter went to elementary school. These houses are all sort of an age. They're mostly built in the 20s, so some of them are 100 years old. Some are getting close, like ours, which was built in 26. Will be 100 years old in 4 years. We'll have to have some sort of special party, I think. And this is a nice new one that really fits in. The only difference is it's quite a bit larger. New houses tend to be much larger. Look at the lovely lilies here. Oops. They have out front. Somebody had a water connection replaced there, I think, and I just stumbled over the pile of dirt that where they dug it up, because I wasn't looking at my feet. Alrighty, well, I will stop here, so thanks for walking with me, and yeah, there's parts I still haven't walked to and parts I never will walk in, but I try to get around a little bit when I have a car, which I happen to have this morning, so This is from the university to here. Okay, that's it for now. Probably back tomorrow. Bye for now.